Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here, and this time joining me is assistant coach Zach Stepan. Coach, thanks so much for coming on and filling in for for Steve, who is with his wife Chris, as she's seeking some medical attention for a lower body injury.
Yeah, fair enough. The hockey terms of it, but yeah, she had a big day today, and so that's why he wasn't able to be here. But I'm happy to be on. Happy to be here.
Excellent. Well, folks, 4-2 loss Friday. They score a minute 54 in. Coach Jennings and I talked about needing a good start, and didn't go the way the Wings would have liked for sure. But you end up getting goals from Campbell and Walsh to tie it up. North Iowa ends up going back on top, and then the empty netter. Really, I felt like that came down to a start. What did you guys as a coaching staff feel about Friday night's game?
Friday night's game is one of those that I think the scoring in the first couple of minutes has been something that we need to fix for sure. So there are some games where it seems like it's definitely a mental lapse, but then there's other games where it's hockey, right? Yeah. So definitely not the start we wanted that way, but I do think throughout that entire game, I thought we did a good job of possessing most of that game. The unfortunate part in our eyes is, it seemed like every mistake we made, they were able to capitalize, and that's what North Iowa does. Yeah.
Well, and a really strong second period that carried into the third. In the second period, you outshot them 21-5. I mean, it was pretty lopsided after once the first period was behind, but then you've got the deficit to try to overcome. So tough loss on Friday, but then on Saturday, you bounce back a 4-2 win. A goofy goal that they scored that wasn't indicated a goal at the time. The goal lamp was not lit, and then there's some discussion, and it ends up being called a goal. I think what the situation was is that he had blown the whistle before the puck had crossed the line, and then he ends up kind of reversing that. Is that what he told you, or what was the explanation?
Yeah, not to get too deep into it, whether we agree or disagree, it came down to linesmen seeing something that maybe the ref didn't, and that's what he based his decision off of. But I thought, the important part was we didn't sink, and we just pushed back, and that's, coming down the stretch here, to be able to learn how to do that was good for us to see.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Something that Coach Jennings and I have talked about on several occasions, too, is the way you respond to it and the way you answer. And, man, I thought the response was fantastic Saturday night. The physicality in the second period that picked up, and it just seemed like you guys really took the tempo and controlled and really tilted the ice from through the second and third period for sure. Physicality, and I've said this to just about anybody that'll listen, I really felt like the hits that were being put on by guys like Karlstrom and Diamond and Yee and Walsh, it seemed to make North Iowa a little gun shy. Like they wanted to be getting rid of the puck before they normally would have to avoid contact or whatever in some cases, because there were so many big hits in that game. It really felt like it was a big component to that win, that 4-2 win. Of course, shots on goal over the weekend, 86 for you guys, and you had 45, I believe it was, on Saturday night. Great crowd. Penalty killed 7 of 8 over the weekend. Saturday's game, what are your thoughts as a staff?
The consistency of being physical was probably the biggest thing through 60 minutes. Yeah. There wasn't, we did really like Friday night. We had that consistency in the second period, but we didn't have it all 3 periods. And right. I think the guys are starting to, at this point in the season, they need to know that is how important that consistency of being physical is. And I don't think we were taking liberties or anything like that. I think it was just good, hard hockey. Yeah. And when you talk about being gun shy, everyone's gun shy if you're getting hit like that. Like that's where you start to take a team's confidence out of their game. Yeah. When they're constantly having to look over their shoulder a little bit because they got to make sure that they're making right plays at the right time. So was really happy with that part of it. And even with our energy statistics that we do every game, we doubled what we normally do over the last 6 games, and the guys are starting to see how important it is.
Yeah. And I even commented on that during the game, that the energy stats were way better, it seemed to me, just from my perspective, I guess, than Friday. What was the difference? What do you think the difference is? Is it a message that you as a coaching staff talk to them about or something? Or what makes them play different?
I think there's a couple of factors to that. I think we have a good group of leadership in here that kind of, I think, the number one thing is enough is enough. Yeah. Because our leaders did a good job of starting that bus and rolling that bus downhill, and then the guys that needed to be followers, if you want to say, or you want to jump on the bandwagon, that's what they needed to do and add to it. And so From the leadership group, I thought that was good. I think, you look at big picture. I think when you go into these little ruts over a 60-game season, that at the time they seem really, really heavy.
Yeah.
But every team's got to go through it at some point, and the guys did a good job of saying enough is enough, and we just push forward from here.
After losing 5 straight, get on the win column again, and a very tight division, folks. So Austin right now in first place with 47 points. They were swept over the weekend. St. Cloud jumps up to second with 43 points. Aberdeen goes from 5th to 3rd from Friday to Saturday with 41 points. North Iowa also 41 points, but again, the win percentage is in favor of the Wings. Minot also with 41 points, and then Bismarck with 33. Again, Minot and Austin both were swept over the weekend, and an incredibly close Central Division, a lot of parity there. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night, that's for sure, and we've seen that throughout the season, really. You've got Minot coming in. You're 2-3-0-1 against them so far this season. In fact, you've got, 3 weekends now with Minot, so that's going to create some challenges in its own right, I would imagine. What have you guys seen of Minot in film and so on? What do they do well? What do they bring to the table?
For them, in my opinion, they play a lot like North Iowa from the standpoint of if you make a mistake, they know how to capitalize on you. Over our 5-game, little skid or whatever you want to call it. Goal scoring was an issue for us, which hasn't been an issue all season, right? So that's where Minot is seeing a little bit of that right now, and I think every team is starting to kind of find what works, what doesn't work, because the whole game changes the second half of the season. No matter what anyone says, the type of games that you play, they just change, and the types of goals that are scored change. So that's where we got to limit Minot, those type of opportunities that you look at Friday's game versus North Iowa is breakaway and backdoors and that kind of stuff, because they will make it hurt. But if we do a good job of holding on to our assignments, it's going to be a good hockey game.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. A couple of keys. Anything else that you're going to be looking for from your guys as we make the trip up to Mesa Ice Arena there in Minot?
Biggest thing for us right now is the guys got to understand that we control our own destiny in a division like this.
Right.
And if they bring the energy like they brought Saturday night, they're going to probably win more games than they lose. But to get into playoffs and to have a good run in playoffs, if you are going to make it there, the consistency has to be there, and that's something that every team's always going to, talk about, and gets kind of cliche at times. But at the same time, like if you can find that consistency where you're getting it 3 out of 4 games or 4 out of 5 games, you're putting yourself in a good spot to control your own destiny.
Right. And, even if it is cliche, and I don't think that it is, because it is so very vital, and it's a challenge with young men like this. And, when you've got a room full of veterans, maybe not as much. But Coach Jennings and I have talked about that too, that consistency is something that everybody strives for. So, All right. Well, that's about all I've got for you, Coach. I appreciate you taking some time to join us here, though, on Wings Weekly. More than likely, when Coach Jennings heads off for Top Prospects, we'll have you on again then, too.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You bet. All right, folks, we'll continue with our second portion of Wings Weekly coming up after this.
We raise the bar on bar food with sandwiches, tenders, and there's more where this came from. To the greatest of all time.
We continue on with our second portion of Wings Weekly, and as usual, a player is joining me, and this time it is Will Diamond of Carpentersville, Illinois, northern part of Illinois, about 40,000 people.
Yeah, pretty big town.
Yeah. So tell me, what's it like coming into Aberdeen? What were your first impressions coming from, I would imagine that's fairly close to Chicago and a lot more populated area.
Yeah, definitely more people back home, but I was excited to get out here, new opportunity. So, I've loved the town so far. It's been great.
Excellent. Well, Will, I usually start with your journey, as I call it. Like, when did you get started playing hockey, and how did you, what steps did it take for you to get here to become a wing?
Yeah, my dad and my grandpa got me into it. They both played, so I was on the ice when I was really little. My older brother also played. He's 2 years older than me, so yeah, just playing like local in Chicago, and then got noticed by the Wings and found my way out here. So
excellent.
Yeah.
So I always think it's interesting when somebody has parents or siblings that played ahead of them. were they playing like collegiate, or because it seems like the road or the path would be a little bit easier, if you have somebody that's gone through that before, or they just play like maybe high school? How far did they take it?
They didn't take it too far. I mean, obviously they still took it like super seriously and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They played at a competitive level, but they kind of set like the path for me, and then I kind of followed in their footsteps, and I'm just trying to take it as far as I can. So
absolutely. All right. Well, a couple of questions here for you again about a little, just getting people a chance to get to know you a little bit. How about other sports? When you were growing up, did you play? Were you a multi-sport athlete? Anything else that you did, or was it pretty much just hockey?
When I was really little, I played like instructional baseball, t-ball, and then I played lacrosse for a little bit.
Okay.
And then I just started focusing on hockey. Going into high schools, I just focused on hockey. So but I played some sports growing up.
Nice. What would you say aside from hockey? Would lacrosse be a favorite? Well, what would you say?
Yeah, lacrosse is just like it's pretty similar to hockey, and I loved it. So that was probably my favorite. I played that for about 3 or 4 years. So.
Big sports fan in the professional level. Do you watch football or basketball? Or anything?
Chicago Bears. Not the best team, but I'm a fan. I stay with them.
All right. What do you like to do? When you're not at the rink, when you're not at the Odie, you're working out or skating or whatever. Do you have any hobbies?
I like to play golf.
Yeah.
And when it was warm outside, I'd golf pretty much every day with some of the boys, and then cards, watch TV, watch shows. So it was a lot. What's your go-to show? Right now, me and the boys are watching Alone. It's a Survivor show. It's pretty good. Yeah,
that is a good one. How about a game day ritual? Do you have any superstitions or anything, or what does a game day look like for you?
Just taking a quick little nap, get some food in me. I'm not too superstitious. I just kind of take it easy, try not to overthink things, and just go out there, play my game. So
right on. Yeah. Well, early on, you had the cage on, and I remember the coaches telling me early on, they were like, "Man, he cannot wait to get that thing on." So, first of all, why were you in such a hurry to get it off? And second of all, what was that like to go out and skate with a visor for the first time?
Oh man, I mean, I trained in a visor all summer long. I didn't know the rule. If you're not 18, you got to have a cage on. So, I think it's just the way I play. I'm a pretty gritty guy, so I just fit my game better to have a visor on. But when I put it on for the first time, I was excited, and I was looking forward to it. So
I feel like there's some teams that got awfully quiet when they realized the cage was off.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. I talked with Coach Stepan just moments ago, about the physicality of Saturday night's game, and how as I was watching that game and as I'm calling that game, I mentioned multiple times that the energy stats were way better on Saturday to Friday just from my naked eye. And the physicality that you and Yee and Walsh and Karlstrom and those guys brought, particularly, they stood out to me. Everybody. At one point, Schmucker even hit somebody.
Yeah, he was throwing the weight around.
Yeah. It really did seem to kind of take North Iowa out of their game a little bit, though, and you could see them getting rid of the puck a little sooner than maybe they would have normally, and so on. And you mentioned it, gritty. You got to have some sandpaper guys and stuff on a team. How important is that in your how important is that component, I guess I should say, in your game? And as the games are going along, can you feel it? Can you kind of feel that it's your kind of game or your style of game, or one that maybe doesn't feel quite right because of the way you play?
Right, yeah. I mean, it's a big part of my game. I think that, playing the way that I play, physicality, and, just being mean out there, I guess, just frees up time and space for myself and, the guys I'm playing with. So, on Saturday, I felt like there was a change from Friday night to Saturday night in terms of how much time and space we had and our momentum, and that's something we focused on going into Saturday. So, it paid off. It worked.
It really felt like obviously two very different outcomes, but two very different games to me. All right, I've got a couple goofy questions I'm going to ask you here before we go too much further. Would you rather be completely invisible or be able to fly for one day?
I think flying. That's always been if you could have any superpower, what would you be? That was always my answer. So I'd probably have to go with that. Just seeing all the things from up there would be pretty cool.
Definitely. I got to thinking about that as I was writing it down, and I'm thinking, invisibility really, if long as you were not doing bad things, it really doesn't help you much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not, if you're invisible, you can go in and steal something or whatever, but then you're,
right.
It doesn't help you much if you're going to be a good guy. So.
I definitely go with flying on that one.
Yep. All right. How about, would you rather have a completely automated house like on the cartoon Jetsons or something where everything moves on its own and does its own stuff, cleans itself, etc., or having a self-driving car?
Probably the house, just get to pick up after yourself. I like to drive, so
yeah.
Probably the house.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, a lot of people actually enjoy driving.
Yeah,
so
I like it.
Not many people enjoy cleaning though. So an automated house that will take care of itself is. All right. Would you rather be feared by all or loved by all?
Jeez. Probably loved by all. Just.
You had to think pretty hard about that one. I feel like feared actually comes with respect too. So that kind of is like, it's tough.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to be part of a big family, so
right on.
I'm loved by everyone.
Or you could do the Michael Scott route and say that you want to be feared or had them afraid of how much they love me. I think that's what he said anyway. Would you rather have a house on a beach or a cabin in the woods?
Ooh. Cabin in the woods. My family has a summer house in northern Wisconsin. It's in the woods, and I love it. We're up there every summer, so yeah, probably cabin in the woods.
Very different personalities, different strokes for different folks. It's always interesting because some people definitely are beach people. Others would much rather be in the mountains or the woods. Yeah. All right. One of the things that coaches and I talk about often is the community involvement that the team, whether it's floor hockey, at the Y, or helping out at the Boys and Girls Club, or ringing bells for the Salvation Army, or whatever. The Wings have had in a pretty big footprint in a lot of ways in the community as far as the involvement and everything goes. And of course, the check to D-Tom, or Don't Tread on Me, Veterans Ranch, was given out on Friday night. So again, the Wings have had a lot of influence with a lot of areas of kids and businesses and all kinds of things. What would you say has been your favorite part of the community involvement?
Just sort of giving back. They come out and support us every game we're here at home. So, just being with the fans and, people that support us and just interacting with them is really special. Going to the Y, playing floor hockey around all the little kids. It's really fun. And then, the experience of just getting to see like what their days are like, especially like the Veterans Ranch. That was an amazing experience. So yeah, just sort of, they're involved with us when we play, so just being involved with them and what they do is awesome. Yeah,
without a doubt. And great crowd. Saturday night, I think it was 1,700 and some change. That was a really big crowd. And I think that community involvement, it does kind of go hand in hand with that. It makes people more, emotionally interested, invested in the team. So that's pretty cool. All right, well, we've got Minot coming up this weekend. Actually, Minot the next 3 weekends. And then whenever you play a team back to back to back to back to back, things get a little chippy. So that maybe is right up your alley.
Yeah.
What do you think you guys have to do to come away with some wins against the Minotauros?
Just focus on our game. I thought, we were on a little bit of a slide there, but Saturday we kind of rebounded, got back to our game. So just, continue that momentum into this next month, really, and just, focus on us, not so much on, what they're doing or other people in the division, just playing our game, focusing on us. So.
I think that's a good rule of thumb. Is you can't really worry about what other people are doing. You just got to continue to improve and grow as a team. That's awesome. All right. Well, that's really about all I've got for you, though. I appreciate you coming on Wings Weekly here and getting the Wings fans a chance to get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. All right, folks. Well, the team hits the road this weekend in Minot to take on the Minotauros. Puck drops at 8:05 both Friday and Saturday night. Fans can watch the away games using their Hockey TV login or at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Aberdeen, the official home for all Wings away games. The Wings game audio is broadcast via Hub City Radio 94.1 The Rock, or you can listen on the Rock app on your mobile device and take it wherever you go. The Wings will return to the Odie on Friday and Saturday, February 11th and 12th, to once again host the North Iowa Bulls, and they'll finish out February playing Minot 4 more times over the following 2 weekends. That's right, the Wings and the Minotauros face each other 6 times this month. A few corporate night sponsorships are still available 2022. Call Aaron at 380-5852 to see what's open. Don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episode on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit theaberdeenwings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now on TikTok. And once again, Will Diamond, thanks so much for joining me here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun. Thank you.
You bet. All right, folks, that'll wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.